Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I never expected marriage to feel like a performance review, but that's what it slowly became. Quiet observations, mental notes, unspoken disappointment. I'm James, 42. I've been married to Elizabeth for 11 years. We met in Chicago, both working late, both tired, both thinking we'd found someone steady in a world that wasn't. She liked that I was consistent. I liked that she laughed easily back then. Somewhere along the way, that laugh stopped being mine. At first, it was subtle. She started talking more about work, new projects, new coworkers, names I heard often but never met. I didn't think much of it. People vent, people connect. That's normal. What wasn't normal was how her energy changed. She'd come home distracted, phone always face down, smiling at messages she never explained. When I asked how her day was, I got summaries, not stories. I told myself I was being paranoid. I had no proof of anything. No late-night disappearances. No lipstick on collars. Just a feeling. And feelings aren't evidence. They're dangerous that way. One Friday evening, Elizabeth said she was staying late for drinks with coworkers. I nodded, told her to enjoy herself. I even meant it. I cooked dinner for one, cleaned up, watched half a movie I didn't care about. Around 10, my phone buzzed. A photo from her coworkers' social media. Group shot, loud bar, Elizabeth in the corner, laughing harder than I'd seen her laugh in years. That image stuck with me longer than it should have. If the story feels familiar so far, tap like so it reaches others who've lived this quiet confusion too. The next morning, she rushed out early, left her bag on the kitchen chair. I noticed it because she never forgets it. I didn't go through it at first. I'm not that guy. But later, when I went to move it, I felt something solid at the bottom. Small, heavy, familiar. My wedding ring. I froze. That ring hadn't left my finger in over a decade. I hadn't taken it off. Ever. Slowly, I reached deeper and pulled it out. Under it was a folded piece of paper. My handwriting. Or what used to be. I chose myself. I don't remember sitting down, but suddenly I was. The house felt too quiet, too honest. The note wasn't dramatic. No explanations. No accusations. Just a statement. One that landed heavier than any confession. When Elizabeth came home that evening, she saw the ring on the table immediately. Her face changed. Not guilt, not fear, recognition. I was going to tell you, she said. That sentence always comes too late. We talked, or at least she talked, about feeling invisible, about feeling alive again at work, about how nothing physical had happened, as if that was supposed to soften the blow. She said she needed space, time, clarity. I asked her why the ring was in her bag. She looked away and said, because I didn't feel like wearing it there. There, not anywhere. There. What would you have done at that moment? Tell me in the comments. I'm genuinely asking. That night, I slept on my side of the bed, staring at the ceiling, realizing something uncomfortable. Betrayal doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it laughs in a bar while you're at home, convincing yourself everything's fine. The next day, Elizabeth left for work like nothing had happened. Same coffee mug. Same goodbye kiss on the cheek. The kind reserved for relatives, not partners. I stayed home longer than usual, thinking about that note, about choice, about how long I'd been choosing us, while she'd been choosing something else. I made a decision of my own. I put the ring back in her bag, folded the note neatly, added one more line underneath it. Then, so will I. If you're still reading, type the word clarity in the comments. You'll understand why soon. I went to work, but I wasn't there. I kept thinking about how calm I felt, not angry, not desperate, just aware, like I'd finally caught up to a truth that had been waiting for me. That evening, Elizabeth didn't come home on time. Elizabeth walked in just after midnight, shoes in hand, hair slightly undone. She stopped when she saw me sitting at the table, calm, waiting. The ring was gone from her bag. She knew I'd seen it. The silence between us wasn't awkward. It was final. "I read your note," she said. I nodded. She asked what it meant. I told her it meant I wasn't competing for my own wife anymore, that I wasn't going to investigate or beg or monitor her phone. I said if she needed to feel free by pretending she wasn't married, then I needed to live like a man who respected himself. She cried then, not loud, controlled. She said she didn't plan for things to get complicated. That word again, complicated, as if loyalty was a logistical error. The next week passed strangely smooth. We were polite, civil, like coworkers finishing a project they both knew was ending. She stayed out more. I asked fewer questions. We both understood the trajectory, without naming it. One evening, she asked if I was angry. I told her no. Anger assumes expectation. I said I was done expecting. If this shift surprised you, share this story with someone who thinks silence means nothing's wrong. 2 days later, Elizabeth packed a suitcase, said she was staying with a friend to think. I helped her carry it to the door. No argument, no dramatic last words. Just a pause before she left. "Are you sure about this?" she asked. I said nothing. After she left, I sat alone in the house we'd built. I didn't feel abandoned. I felt returned to myself. That night, I slept better than I had in months. 3 weeks later, I got an email. Subject line, "We need to talk." I didn't reply immediately. Not to punish her. To be honest with myself. When I did respond, I suggested a coffee shop. Neutral ground. This time, Elizabeth looked different. Not happier. Just uncertain. She told me things hadn't worked out the way she thought they would. That the excitement faded when responsibilities showed up. She asked if we could try counseling. Start over. I listened, really listened. Then I asked her one question. "Did you take off the ring because you felt single or because you wanted to be?" She didn't answer. That was my answer. I told her I hoped she found what she was looking for, but I wouldn't be waiting. I said I didn't leave because she laughed with coworkers. I left because she stopped respecting what we built while expecting me to protect it alone. She cried harder then, asked if I'd already moved on. I smiled slightly and said, "No." I just moved forward. In one word, describe what James did here. Comment below. I'm curious what you see. The divorce was clean. No theatrics. No public drama. Just paperwork and signatures. People asked what happened. I kept it simple. We grew apart. That was enough. Months later, I ran into Elizabeth by chance. She looked surprised to see me relaxed, lighter somehow. She asked how I was. I told her the truth. I was good, not because I won, not because she lost, but because I stopped negotiating my worth. If this story made you think differently about boundaries, share it thoughtfully with someone who needs that reminder. That ring sits in a drawer now, not as a reminder of failure, but of a moment I chose myself without bitterness. Love doesn't disappear all at once. It erodes when only one person is maintaining it. And when someone treats commitment like an accessory they can remove depending on the room they're in, the bravest thing you can do is let them walk out wearing nothing you gave them. Before you go, like this story if it resonated, comment with your honest takeaway. And subscribe if you want more real stories about self-respect, quiet strength, and the moments that change everything.